What's up, Bill? All right, let's see. Who in here? What's up, Elko? Cars in the Cut. TJ, Tulu. Cars in the Cut. TJ. What's up, Ray? All right, boys and girls. Yo, yo, yo. What's up? This is John from Judge Innovation Garage in the Peach Capital with a state, baby. A little bit different scenario today, boys and girls. We in the lab. So, let's talk about, hope everybody's doing good. I'm going to try to stay on here not too long, maybe 30 minutes, depends on how in depth we get going in here. But let me explain something to you. Paint, right? So, you see this can of paint, right? So, I'm going to give you a secret that nobody is going to tell you. When you go to the paint store, right? Doesn't matter any kind of brand. It doesn't matter. Nason's, Sharon Williams, DuPont, Matrix, Shopline, OmniPlus, PPG, Deltron, Finish One. Doesn't matter. Okay? To make paint, you have to have ingredients, like making a cake, right? So, I'm going to show you something that probably most of you don't even know. You see this label right here? This is Shopline, right? This is Shopline. This is JAU, right? JAU. This is Switchback Silver. The part number or the OEM brand code number is Whiskey Alpha 636 Romeo. That's one paint code. Then you got Gulf Alpha November. That's another paint code. Then you have 17. That's another paint code. Then you have Whiskey Alpha 8636. That is another paint code. That is 4 paint codes on this one can. All right? And it says manufacturer GM. All right? So this color is a GM color. The brand code is 919991. That's the brand code. So when they look up a paint code for you and they say, do you have the brand code? Most people don't have the brand code, right? Most people have a paint code. And then you give them the paint code. And then they say, okay, yeah, that comes up Switchback Silver. Right? Some paint stores will ask you what it is. And you're like, oh, it's silver. No, what's it on? And they'll say, it's a Mitsubishi. Then, I'm just throwing that out there. They'll say, it's a Mitsubishi. Well, then that other paint code, GAA, 17, whatever, could be that paint code for a Mitsubishi. And Mitsubishi might call it pewter silver. GM might call it switchback silver. Toyota might call it twilight silver. It's still the same color to a certain extent. The ingredients might be different, right? Meaning that I'm going to show you, and I hope I don't get in trouble for this, but you see this label right here? If you'll take your label and you peel it off, Lord have mercy, look underneath of there. What is that? That's the damn formula. That's the ingredients, right? Now, I'm going to cover up the SKU number, and I'm going to cover up the other number. Now, so you don't see this. Underneath it, there is the paint. There is the mixing formula that the paint store had to go by to make your paint. So this color right here is switchback silver. It has crushed aluminum. It has medium bright aluminum. It has gold mica. It has gold mica in it. It has green shade blue in it. It has micromizing white. It has a flattening agent. It has an accelerator. And it has clear. All that is what makes this color. For JAU shop line, right? Shop line is not very good when you're doing color matching or blending. It's for all over or for parts that has never seen paint before. Shop line is not good. This line right here is not good for blending, especially silver. If you don't know how to paint, silver is hard. Anything with a heavy metallic is hard. You'll get splotches, you'll get tiger stripes, you'll get modeling, you'll get shades, whatever. So that's this. Now, if I ask that same color in Deltron, which is the next level up, right? The ingredients might be different. It might have a different toner. And what is toners? These are toners. This DMD 658, that is Phantom Blue Medium. That is a toner, which is the ingredients that goes into a color to make the color. It's like making a cake, right? You got all kinds of toners. Phantom Green Yellow. Now you can take this toner and use it for a color. That's this color. It's a toner, right? All these are toners. These are toners. DMD 624, deep violet. That's a pretty color. All right. All right. Here's water base. This is water base. These are toners. Autumn mystery. These are toners, right? All right. Those are toners. So it takes toners, ingredients, to make the paint, right? So when somebody says that they're going to orange, right? Orange. Aren't you glad I'm here today? There's nothing really that rhymes with orange unless you sound it out. Now we're dropping some bars. Cypher, that's a completely different story. So, orange, right? I'm going to say orange because orange has been a topic here for the last little bit, right? So, built on a budget, I'm going to use him because this is a fresh topic. He picked a potential color for JT. The color that he picked out was burnt. The color he picked out was that Mango Tango, right? And he had the part number and the brand number. I looked up that brand code number and it come up multiple different kinds of colors, names for different vehicles. Mitsubishi, Toyota, Nissan, Chevrolet, different manufacturers call it different things. Somebody might say, oh, that's burnt orange here in the South. Well, it might be burnt orange in the South and it might be burnt orange in the Midwest. But depending on what it's on, it could be called Mango Tango. There is a vehicle out there with that same paint code on it that's called brown. Right? That color there has a lot of ingredients, right? So Bill asked online, and then he asked me, he's like, what would it be if I put gold over that? Well, I looked it up. I can look and see. It already has gold and some other stuff in it. Well, I looked it up. It already has gold in it. It already has green in it. It already has gold pearl in it. It actually has, I will say this, it has 27.9 grams of gold pearl per gallon of paint. And it has so many grams of green per gallon of paint. And it also has so many grams of flop. And what is a flop? All right. So you have a flop agent, right? And I got some in here. A flop agent is how the metallics, because it's a mica and a pearl, how the light hits the metal flake, and the flop is what lets the sun, how fast, how crazy the flop goes from, ooh, that thing looks like Dorothy Red slippers. That's the flop. If you add more flop, it's going to flop more. If you add less flop, it's going to flop less. Right. So the next thing he said, well, I want to put gold pearl like in my clear and spray over it. Well, you can do that, but here's the problem with that. you can mud, it depends on what pearl you use, you can muddy up the paint job. So if you use a dry pearl or a dirty or a liquid pearl, you're going to get a different effect, right? So when you're like, I want to add more gold pearl. Well, how much do you want to add? I don't know. I don't know how much I want to add. I just want to add some more. Well, there is where most paint shops that mix your paint will not even deal with you, because they're not going to alter the color to give to you. They're not going to alter it. The reason being is because if they alter it, they have to make a mental note on something to let them know that they altered it, right? So let's say that Bill didn't like, I'm using him for an example because it's relevant. Let's just say Bill wanted is 27 grams of gold pearl per gallon, all right? So then he got it in a rattle can. Well, that rattle can is 1K. That means there's no clear, there's no activator, there's no hardener. It's in a rattle can, right? It's in a rattle can. It's not 2K. So he cannot see what the pearl looks like because it don't have clear on it. Now they make a product. That looks similar like this. It's not this. I'm not going to show you because I don't want you to think it's that. But they make this stuff that simulates clear, but it's not clear. All right. You spray it on your panel. You can see what it looks like with potential clear on it. And then eventually that stuff dries away and it's just base, right? It lets you see what you have. Well, let's just say that it's 27 grams of gold per gallon. And Bill goes up there and says, hey, look, I want you to make me another rattle can, but I want you to add 37 grams of gold pearl per gallon. And then they'll do the formula. The machine will figure it up. And they'll put the percentage in it that needs to be in a can. And then Bill goes back and he sprays the front of JT with it. And now he sprayed this over his existing color. Now here's where the problem comes. Your ground coat is going to change what your top coat looks like. So if he goes and gets another can of paint and it has 10% more gold pearl in it, and he sprays it over what's already there, the ground coat is not what it's called for. Therefore, the color is not going to be right. And if he says, oh, I like that, let's go with that. And then he has them mix him a gallon of paint, which mixes 1 to 1, is 2 gallons sprayable. And then he sprays JT. The truck ain't going to look the way he wanted to look because he's going to be mad because he's going to think that they didn't mix the paint the way he wanted to mix it. And he's out of $400 some or whatever it is, whatever they charge, right? No, but your mama does. So with that being said, he is going to be upset because the color don't match. And the reason why the color don't match is because his ground coat wasn't right. Right? His ground coat wasn't right. Well, the reason why his ground coat wasn't right, because he put the new color over the old color and the ground coat's different. That Mango Tango has 4 versions. It has a primary, and then it has 3 other versions. It has a version that's dirtier, then it has a one that's more yellow, then it has one that's more flop, and then they have one that's less flop, right? For different variations. And the reason why that has different variations is because during the stint of when that color was made, and they were producing that paint for that manufacturer, let's say they was producing it for Honda, and then Toyota wanted it. Then they found another supplier to supply the paint, and then they made the paint. Let's say the car was made in 2010, and then in 2012, another manufacturer made the color. The color's not going to be the same. That's why you have different variations, right? That's why you have different variations of color. That's why you have to do spray outs. Now, what's a spray out? So you got ground coats, right? You got ground coats. So ground coats is this. This is ground coats. Any paint store that has any weight they have these little coupons, right? So these are paper, right? These are paper, right? These are paper. These are ground coats. You have G1, you have G3, you have G5, and you have G7, right? So what you do is you take this little card right here and you put on the back the date, the painter, which would be built on a budget, and then right here the color map, and then you write everything down on this card. You write everything down on this card. The formula, the model, the make, the year, the color system, the paint code, which is Whiskey Alpha, the coat supplied, the pearl base, the metallic base, the solid base, the clear base, the comments on how you adjusted that color. Then what you do is you take, now they make these in metal too, and they make them in these little speed shapes too. They make them in these little, speed shapes like these little cars. They used to make them out of metal, but now they're plastic. You can get them on Amazon. They got them in white, black, and clear. So if you can buy these and then you can put it on a stick, right? So you're not painting your vehicle every time or painting a panel. You can actually paint it on this, which looks like a little car, right? And you can get it in black, which is G7, and you can get it in light gray, which is like G3. And then what you can do is you can put this up there. You tape this to your stick, and then you spray, and then you put one coat of clear on it, and then you let it dry. But they got away from using paper because it saturates and it rolls up. So then those are old. I've had those a long time. Now they make these little speed shapes, and they have them in clear, black, and white. You take these little speed shapes, you put your stick in there, and you tape it or you wire or ever how you want to do it, and then you spray it. You spray your color. You write down everything. The temperature it was outside, the humidity outside, the gun that you was using, the air pressure you was using, your overlap, your reducer, how you was feeling that day, what you ate that day, whatever. You write it all down in your little notebook because nobody can remember everything. Then you come back and you try to duplicate that again in a perfect world situation. And it's hard, right? So every color out there has some type of pearls, metallics. If it's a mica, that's M-I-C-A, that's mica. If it has a mica or a metallic in it, it's going to have pearls. It's going to have pearls. It's going to have pearls. Okay? And what is a pearl? Let me show you. You got dry pearls, and then you got liquid pearls, right? Let me take this down. I'm going to show you. Okay? And they are expensive. And you want me to tell you why a paint store don't want to do that for you? So let me show you this right here. Let me get you some pearls out. Here's crystal. There's gold. There's red. There's some more gold. Oh, that's a pretty one right there. There's some blue. Oh, yeah, there's some more right there. And let me show you this right here. This shit is expensive. And this is why paint stores are not going to mess with it, because they're not going to waste their money, because these are pearls. Now, this is R&M, but PPG has them. Every manufacturer has them. This is a liquid pearl. And when I tell you a dab will do you, a dab will do you. Like Fred Flintstone, yabba dabba do will do you. Right? This is 100 mLs. Right? This right here is super brass mica. Right? Super brass mica. Google how much this is. Google how much this is. Right? This is red pearl. But it don't look red. Look. That's red. You can't see. That's red. You can see a little bit of red in it, right? This is red. This is gold. Looks, you can see a little bit of gold in it. These are wet pearls. These are dry pearls. This right here is $1,000. You hear what I said? $1,000. You see this right here? Y'all look at this. Let me show you this. See that? That looks blue, don't it? It's not blue. It's called ultra green. Ford come out with a color on one of their trucks. I think it was like 2017, 2016. I don't remember the paint code right off the top of my head. It took 5 of these bottles per gallon. 5. 5. So here's another thing. Dark pearls, see, like this says super brass mica. This is a dirty pearl, right? When I say dirty pearl, it's dirty. If you add too much of this in your mid coat or your clear or your DBC 500 to make a tri-coat, which most colors out there are tri-coats anyway, which means you got the base coat, a mid coat, and a top coat, right? Right? This is a dirty pearl, meaning if you put too much in it, it will overpower the base color and it will muddy it up. These are clean pearls because they're clear, they're white. So they still have a lot of reaction, but you can get away with a little bit more of it. But you have to weigh this stuff out. It's like a dope dealer, man. You have to get and weigh this stuff out on a scale. It's not like you can just say, hey, let's put a little drop in there, and then you paint it and you go, oh, I like the way that look, and then you can never duplicate it because you don't know the formula to the cake. Now, I have done that before. I have made stuff and painted, not all overs, and then you can never reproduce it. You have to have a scale, right? I have a scale in my booth where you weigh this stuff out, right? Here is your ground coats. So let me put this down right here. Let me put this up here. And I'm going to show you. All right? I'm going to show you your ground coats. All right? Here is your ground coats. You got G1, G2, G3, G4, G5, G6, G7. This is how it tells you to make your ground coats the shade that you're supposed to have to put over it. So let's say built. Let's say built. Put some light on the situation. Let's say built. All right. Let's say built. Goes out there. If you don't know your color wheel, then you didn't pay attention in school. Right? So you got your color wheel, right? You got G1, G2, which is like a yellow tint. You got G1, G2, G3, G4, G5, G6, G7, right? That color that Built was looking at, Mango Tango, burnt orange, whatever you want to call it, calls for G6. It calls for it to be G6. And I ain't talking about the airplane. It talks about going over a light dark gray. This is almost black. So let's just say that Built sprayed his truck, JT, in G4, and he sprayed that burnt orange over G4, but the spray out that he had was over G6. The color's going to be brighter, not darker, because your ground coat. That makes a big difference. If you manipulate the ground coat, you're going to manipulate the top coat. And if you don't know your color wheel, then go to a art store and buy a color wheel and see what goes with what. Because you can really make yourself spend a lot of money if you're not a mixologist. And I'm not talking about making drinks. I'm talking about making paint. And I know there's some people out there that's probably watching this video and ain't commenting on it and thinks I'm full of shit as a Christmas turkey. But let me tell you something. I know this. I've been doing this for 30 years. It is constantly changing. I've backed up to the curb more than most people went straight in their life. All right. Now, I will say this. Bill did tell me there's a color that he was interested in. I'm not going to say the color because it's a 2025 color. And he told, the paint store told him that it wasn't even available. Now, I've heard some other people say that they got this color they coming out with that's not even available. It's not available to you, but guess what? It's available to me. I can pull it up and look and see what's in it, the ingredients. I can look at it. What they're saying is it's not available to you meaning that the toners are not even available to be made yet. So it has to be bought directly from the manufacturer, and the manufacturer buys it from the place that they're buying it from. The toners ain't even been produced massively, so the paint store can actually have them. It's like Harley Davidson paint. If you want a Harley Davidson, the only way you're going to get the paint for the Harley is go to Harley and buy it. Guess what? Little news flash. Guess who makes the paint for Harley? I'll give it a second. PPG. And guess what? It mixes 8 to 1 to 1. There is no clear coat. It is a modified single stage tri-coat. Meaning the base coat mixes 8 to 1 to 1. You spray the base coat. You let it flash off like single stage. The second coat mixes 8 to 1 to 1. You spray that. That's the second coat. That's the mid coat. And then the top coat mixes 8 to 1 to 1, and you spray that, and that is your top coat, and that is everything. And you are done, 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 done. Everything's mixed together. The base, the clear, the pearls, the flakes, everything. Everything's together. But you can't go to the paint store and say, hey, look, I got a 2016 Evo and I need the paint coat. I want to paint the tank. They're going to say, you have to get it from Harley. We can't get it. Because when they pull it up on their end, it says not available for mix. Now, they can go out there with that camera, that 3M camera, and put it on the tank and take pictures in multiple locations. And the AI computer will generate a paint code and then give you a paint code, and you can mix it and it's going to be close, but it's not going to be exact. Because you know why it's not going to be exact? Because the sun is brutal on paint jobs. Brutal on paint jobs. So if you scan something on your vehicle, it has been cooked by the sun, so it is not as lucrative and vibrant it was the day that it was put on. So the camera can only get you close to where it was at, and then the paint store mixes up your paint, and that shit is high because it's global. It's high, right? And you're like, no, just mix it in Shopline. Well, let's say Shopline don't even have the toners to make it. Well, mix it in Deltron. Deltron don't even have the toners to make it. Well, mix it in Global. That's their European. Guess what? They just got all up in your pocket. And then they mix your color. They mix you about 6 ounces. That makes 12 ounces sprayable. That is gracious plenty to do a motorcycle tank. You go home, paint your tank. Now you mad as fire because the tank don't match and it's a little shade off. And if anybody has any salt on their eyeball that can look at colors, that does it for a living, not a hobby, a living, can see that it has a little bit too much red, a little bit more yellow, not a much yellow. It's like square body. He posted a picture the other day of that square body rolling out on a trailer, and it's orange and white. It looks red to me. And he said it was orange. I said, well, the filters on cameras, they make stuff look crazy. I said, it looks like it has a little red in it. And he commented, he said, good eye. They put dragon's blood, or they put dragon blood red in it. I seen it in the camera. I do this shit for a living. It's not a hobby. I eat and breathe this shit. I consider myself a very good asset. A very good asset. I will help anybody, but I have a new rule. I'm not helping anybody personally. I'll get on here, I'll do my videos like I'm supposed to, like I've always done, and you read them, you listen to them, and if anybody feels free to reach out to me and ask me, they're jammed up or whatever else, I will help you, I promise you. But me going on to other people's pages and commenting in their chat and telling them, hey, look, you might want to try this, you might do it, them days is sailed. I ain't doing it. I'm not wasting my time. So, Bill said he appreciates everybody because Bill can't see, he's watching on the big screen, so I just read his comment on the bottom. So, I'm not helping nobody on their chats anymore that don't appreciate it. I'm done. Wash my hands with it. I'm done. I'm done. I'm telling you this so you can save some money. This shit is expensive. It's expensive. If I do something in this room right here and it's not right, guess who has to eat it? Me. Not my client, me. So I've backed up to the curb more than you've went straight in your life, and I have wasted more paint than you'll ever buy in your entire life. So am I being a little bit conceited? I'm being a little bit arrogant or whatever. When I give you some advice, I'm not saying you have to take it. Don't turn around and belittle me about it and kind of throw shade. All right? I'm done with it. And that's okay. I'm not mad at nobody. I'm not mad at nobody. I read something this morning. It says, don't worry about haters. Because you know always say, don't worry about haters because haters are going to hate. No. That's not it. That's not it, boys. We're all wrong. That's not it. Haters hate because they hate themselves. They hate looking at themselves every day in the mirror. So they have to push that negativity onto somebody else to justify them feeling the way they do. I'm done. So when you're mixing colors and you're trying to get a color that you want, there is millions of colors, some beautiful colors out there. Beautiful colors, beautiful colors. The color technology in the last 10 years has went crazy. Vibrance used to have a color line they called their Vibrance deck. I have it. That Vibrance deck is no longer. You know why it's no longer? They used to have a color called Money Green. It was a beautiful color. I got 2 quarts of it because I wanted some samples. Money Green. Beautiful color. You know what happened? When the tsunami hit on the West Coast and wiped out the Philippines, guess what? Those colors got discontinued. And you're like, how did the islands and the Philippines affect PPG making their Vibrance collection, which was beautiful colors? It was like the top of the top. How did that affect colors? Mica, pearls. They found these pearls and mica minerals in the ground that made these colors. I have right here. See this right here? This right here? This right here? Money Green. You can't get this color no more. This color is non-existent. You can scan this color and get it close, but this formula is gone because all the micas and all the pearls that were on this island, the good Lord washed them away and they're gone and you can't get them. But the technology, the synthetic technology that we have now has tremendous colors, and there's a lot of beautiful colors out there. No, this is the color on the roof of my 54. The color on the green truck, I made that color. That's candy. Now let's talk about candy. I heard somebody sent me a message that said candy's dead because it fades and blah, 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 and all this other stuff, and candy's no good, and everybody's getting away from candies. Yes and no. Yes and no. Manufacturers have came out with so many colors. They have a 3-stage, which they call it a tri-coat. Then they have a quad stage, which is 4 coats. And then they got a 5. I don't even know what 5's called. Octa, whatever it is. That's something Jay don't know. That's something I don't. There's 5 stages to the paint, right? I don't know the exact word for it. I have to look it up because I don't say it much. 5 stages to the paint, right? Like ruby red for Ford. That's a tricolor, right? It's $1,100 a gallon. The last time I priced it, it's $1,100 a gallon. $1,100 for the base, $1,100 for the mid coat, $1,100 for the top coat. That's $3,300 just in a gallon of paint, a gallon of mid coat, and a gallon of top coat. 3. Ford has a color that was only available 1 year on their Mustangs, and when you would have to paint it, the Ford reps would come in the building and take all the paper with them, so you couldn't take the paper and scan the code so you could kind of make it. It's like $30,000 for the paint. It's crazy. It's crazy. So when Bill says Rust-Oleum for the wind, there you go. Thanks, Bill. That's what it is right there. P word, like mayonnaise. So Rust-Oleum is a good choice. I've painted a lot of Rust-Oleum. I've painted a lot of tractor paint. And if you don't believe me, look, right here. Tractor paint, gloss black. All right? Look, here's something else. Right here. This right here is AIC. Advanced Industrial Coatings. This right here is black. This is kind of some weird stuff here. It depends on how you mix it, how the color comes out. What do you mean? Well, if you mix it, I don't want to say the wrong numbers. I have to look because I don't use this stuff much. Paint the bottoms of vehicles and stuff like that. If you mix it, let's just say for an example, if you mix it 6-to-1 it would come out gloss. And if you mixed it 6-to-2 it'd come out like semi-gloss. And if you mix it like 6-to-3-to-7, I don't know, just numbers. This right here would be like eggshell flat. So let me tell you about candy. Yeah, 80's right. This is why people don't spray candies, and they've got away from candies and they went to stock colors, because manufacturers, the big Honda, all the big manufacturers have switched because they seen the industry. Everybody was painting their stuff candies. So what did manufacturers do? They listen, they pay attention. So they started making their factory colors in the candies. Tri-coats, quad coats, pentastage. That's what a candy paint job is. Candy paint job. You go in there, you spray it either high metallic silver, gold, or black. That's the ground coat. Then you mix up your candies, and then you go in there and you spray your candy. Depending on how you do your candy concentrate. If it's 8-to-1 concentrate per gallon, it depends on how you put it in your binder. Your DBC 500. What is DBC 500? Clear base. Guess what? Shopline makes it too. It's called JC 605. It's actually clear base. That's all it is. It's clear. It's clear. Then you take your candy and you put your candy concentrate in there. Most of it is 16-to-1. Meaning if you got a gallon, a DBC 500, you put 16 parts of candy into a gallon, you shake it up, and you're good to go. Here's the thing about candies. When you go in there and spray candies, you got to pay attention. You got to pay attention. You can't be on your phone. You can't be talking. You can't be arguing with your girlfriend. You can't be arguing with your boyfriend. You can't be arguing. You can't be doing none of that crap. You have to stay focused. 85% overlap. Make sure you go the right direction. Make sure your pressure's right. Make sure your gun distance right. You have to go in there. It's not forgiving. It's not for the weak. You got to make sure when you come up around the corner, like say this is the bumper, and you come around the corner, you got to make sure you don't stop on the edge. You got to walk the whole panel. You got to go from the end of the vehicle. Let's use Tulu's vehicle. So I'm sitting at Tulu's vehicle, and let's say Tulu wants his car painted candy blue. You start at the front where the headlight's at, right there at the corner where the double headlights is. You start right there at the corner. And you walk the whole car. That means you walk the whole panel, all the way down and all the way back. All the way down, all the way back, all the way down. Your feet gonna be wore out. You better put your shoes on and lock them daggone Crocs in 4-wheel drive, because you're going to need it all day. Don't stop at the door jam, because every time you stop, it's going to be dark. And you can't fix it with candy. Because if you spray and you put 3 coats on and you stop, every place you stop, it's going to be a line. You're like, oh, hell, let me go in there and fix it. You get your paint gun in there. You go in there with your paint gun and you go, let me put a couple. You can't do that, because the way candy is so translucent. The more coats you put on it, the darker it's going to get. There's no way to fix it. You can't. You have to stop and start all over. So let me tell you where lowrider graphics came into play. And Mexican Lee's in here, and he might be able to validate this. And see, House of Colors used to be lacquer. House of Colors used to be lacquer. The reason why there's lowrider graphics, one of the reasons is a screw up. They screwed up on something. So instead of redoing the whole car, they done some graphics over it. And then they kept doing it. And then that culture, that trend started trending, and then it just blew up just worldwide. Whether you believe it's flat or round, whatever how you believe it, it don't matter to me. That's where lowrider graphics came from. Plus the culture and all the other stuff. But back in the day, if you do your research and look, that's where lowrider graphics came from. It was a mistake. It was a mistake. Instead of trying to paint the whole car because everybody was broker than a pickpocket in a nudist colony, instead of repainting the whole car, they just put graphics over it. Yeah, TJ, that's what people don't understand. Stuff that actually was an accident or ended up turning to be a phenomenon. You're exactly right. Now, the technology with candies over the years has got better. Now, I'm not going to say this. Candy jobs, these high end, like the Rose. If you don't know what the Rose is, we can't even be having this conversation. Those cars like that, the Rose and stuff like that, those cars don't never hardly see any sunshine. They come out, they go to a show, they get to see each other, everybody sees it, they wax the fist out of it, they cover it back up, they put it in the thing. They don't stay outside in the sunshine. It don't stay out in the sunshine. Because what happens is that technology, yeah, the Gypsy Rose. I knew somebody would drop it. Oh, Elko to the wind, to the rescue. They covered them up because the pigments in candies back then and the UV protection in clear was not there, and it would bleach it out. Still to this day, it still happens. Like neons, all the neon colors, like the neons. I got some neon candies in here that are insane. But guess what? The sun will bleach them. They'll bleach them out. So if you're going to do something with some high neons, like neon green, chartreuse green, hot pink, any stuff like that, any like chartreuse green, lavenders, anything that has very, very translucent. I know I got, yeah, right here. Look. Chartreuse neon. This color right here, you can see this shit from outer space. But it's going to fade. The sun's going to bleach it. It's not going to be that in 6 months. So the technology has came a long way with candies, right? So also clears have came a long ways in the last few years, right? So clears are expensive, but also, for example, Tamco has a clear bind, a candy carrier called CC 3300 or CC 3000 or something like that. And you actually put your candy in that, and in their kits you mix 16 to 1, and it's basically clear. It's basically clear coat. So when you go in there and you spray, you go in there and you put your silver down, and then you get the candy kits from Tamco. I sprayed them before, so I know what I'm saying. Tamco has their candies carriers, like candy carrier CC 3000 or 3300 or something like that. And then you get their hardener, get the slow hardener. I think it's 5707, I think. It's slow hardener. And then you get their candy concentrate. And candy concentrate comes in little bottles like this, and then it's 16 to 1. And they say 3 to 4 coats you can achieve the color that you're looking for. All right? So basically, you're clearing the car 4 times. Because the candy is with a hardener, with a catalyst or a binder, and it's in the clear coat, which is basically it's what it is. the CC 3000, the candy carrier, is actually clear. You're adding the candy to the clear. You're adding the hardener to it, a little bit of reducer, and you go in there and you spray it like you're spraying clear, and you can stack 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 coats. And the more you stack, the darker it's going to get. All right? With the other thing, like in the past, like with PPG, all right, for this right here, this is R&M clear. This is R&M teal. This is their candy, right? This is just like a base. So you would take this and you would put it into BC 100, which is R&M's intercoat binder, which is like DBC 500 or JC 605 for PPG. You would put this into your concentrate and you'd see what it looks like. And then you could add a little hardener to it, mix it up, and go in there and spray it. Now you have a catalyst in it, but you still have to clear over top of it. Clears have came a long way to protect that. That little green truck out there is candy. It's a custom candy that was made in this room right here. It's been painted for 3 years now. Has not been cut and buffed, and it's not faded. And that sun gun sets out in the sun. I'll wash it and clean it up, and I'll cover it up. It's been sitting out in the sun. Now I've moved it, and you can open the door jambs. It's the same shade because it has 4 coats of candy on it, and then it has 7 coats of clear on top of that. And the clear that's on it is Vibrance. It's VC 5700, the Vibrance collection. Now, in clears, you have different qualities of clear. PPG has a clear called, it's called their Grow line, right? It's like a 2 to 3 year clear. It's like $90 a kit. You get like 5 liters of clear, the hardener, and it's like $100. I call it used car lot clear. It's thin, like finish 1. You spray it, 3 coats, 2 coats, 3 coats, done. Walk away from it, and you're done. It actually sprays really, really nice, but it's only a 2 to 3 year clear. That means in 3 years, if it stays in the sun and you don't take care of it, you don't wax it, it's going to break down, it's going to delaminate. That's why I call it buy here, pay here, car lot stuff. You have finish 1. Finish 1 is super clear, super thin. There's no film build, no nothing like that. Then you have Deltron 2021. Woo, I sprayed 1,000,000 gallons of this stuff. This is like my go-to clear, 2020-21, right? This stuff, I don't want to say prices on this because it's expensive, right? And I'll tell you something else. Whenever you open your clears and stuff and hardeners, you need to date them. And you don't need to keep your stuff on the floor. I don't know what it is. If you set a paint can, all right, see this right here? This is a polyurethane hardener slow, JH6380, right? All right. If I take this not even open and set it on the concrete floor, this shit will harden up. I had no idea why it does it. It does it. It does it. Once you break the seal, you need to write on here the day you opened it. If you look down in there and it starts looking like it's crystallizing, don't use it. Throw it away. Nah, Jay, I just need to do this. Don't use it. Throw it away. It's compromised. It's got isocyanates in it, and isocyanates suck in water, and water is bad. Use it for a fire starter, allegedly. That's what I hear. Don't use it. Dispose of it properly. All right? I've used finish 1 to sand down. Then yeah, so my club brother 57 name man painted illegal brother. Oh, I bet so, man. I bet so, Lee. Yeah, in pallet jack, I know some guys that will take and put I know some guys that take finish 1 because it's kind of little. It's not cheap, but it's not expensive. I know some guys that will spray down like heavy silver metallic, and then they will mix up metal flake, like not big metal flake, but small metal flake into finish 1 clear, and they will clear over it. Like they will use the clear as a carrier, and they will spray over whatever they're doing with that clear, right? And then they let it flash off. Then they go in there and they sand it down, and then they do their graphics, and then they put a little better clear over top of it. Now, let me tell you about sand and flake, all right? So if you're doing panels, right? If you're doing panels and you're using colored flake, they make colored flake. Reds, blues, greens, yellows. They make colored flake. Be careful on the flake that you buy. Okay? Listen to me. Listen to me. Listen to me. If you buy flake from Amazon, eBay, Marketplace, wherever, and there's only I think there's 3 or 4 places in the world that make metal flake. But there's people that came out with their own line of metal flake, and I'm not going to say their names. I've used a bunch of it, and I've been burnt before. And this is how I've been burnt before. Get the flake. Buy your flake from a reputable dealer, right? Buy it by the pound if you're going to use a lot. 1 pound, 5 pound packages, right? Comes in a big old pack, right? If you're going to get it in the small little cups, I'll show you this one because this one ain't got no name on it. This right here, you can get it in little cups like this. This is a special mix that I made. It's called black. It's got 0.8, 0.4, and 12 in it, right? All right. See that? Y'all look at this right here. This is a custom black flake that I made. Look. Look at this. Look at that right there. Ooh, boy, that's something else. Now let me tell you something. When you buy flake, do this first before you do anything else. Get you a cup. Get you a mixing cup. Get you something that can handle thinner or reducer. Take a little bit of that flake, put it in the cup. Take a little bit of reducer, pour it in the cup, and watch what happens. I know a lot of guys that buy flake from places and then they go to spray it and they put it in their thing and then they mix it with a DBC 500 or an intercoat base and then they add reducer to it and the shit dissolves and goes away. It's plastic. You can't buy the stuff at Hobby Lobby and use. It'll melt. It's plastic. The solvents, the thinner, the reducer will melt it. It will melt it. And you will be mad. So, if you buy flake, any type of flake, silver flake, metal flake, silver flake, color flake, whatever, make sure you test it in something before you put it on something that you want to keep it, because I've been burnt before and it melt. And I bought it from places that was supposed to be reputable and they wasn't reputable. So I go back and buy it. Just because it's cheap don't mean it's right. All right? So be careful. Also, if you're spraying colored flake, reds, greens, yellows, blues, whatever, you can't sand them. You can't sand them. If you sand them, you're going to cut that flake in half. And once you cut that flake in half, it's silver on the middle and the inside, right? So think about a sandwich, right? You bite into the sandwich, let's say a hamburger, right? You bite into the hamburger and it's red on the inside, but it's black on the outside. That's what the flake's going to be. If you sand it, you cut that flake in half, right? You cut it in half. It's blue on the outside and it's silver on the middle. Now you got silver flake in your paint job. You can't sand it. You have to bury it in clear. Bury it in clear. Bury it in clear. Then sand the clear, not the flake. But over time, that flake's been dyed that color. It will bleach itself out and it won't be there. So the best thing to do, if it's going to be outside in the weather, buy regular silver flake and spray candy over it and do your tones, your back shades, and do it that way and use a silver flake. And then you don't have to worry about it, because if you sand it and you cut it in half, it's still silver on the inside, it's still silver on the outside. But if you want to do like colored flake, make sure it's something that's going to stay inside and not and make sure that you don't do that, right? So I know it's a lot of information, and I'm glad everybody stopped in. Anybody got any questions? I will. We'll just take a few. We're at 56 minutes now. If anybody's got any questions, drop it in the comments. Yeah, Daniel, he's talking about petrol. He's talking about gasoline. But make sure you go back and wash it really, 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 really good and wax it. Or you can use a clay bar. Clay bar to get it off. McGuire's makes a clay bar. So if I come off as an asshole, I'm not an asshole. Just on days it ends in Y and twice on Tuesdays. Right? Yeah. Lee. Don't buy cheap clear. Get a good quality clear. I got told yesterday or day before yesterday that Summit Racing, their clear that Summit Racing has, this guy said that since everybody got so expensive, right? So expensive and clear, he's used it all. PPG, DuPont, Sherwin-Williams, Matrix, House of Colors, everything. He said that the place he works at now uses Summit Clear and Summit DTM epoxy primer. And he was just giving me, he says, hey man, you might want to check it out. And I said, okay, cool. So I looked it up, and a gallon of their, I'm not using it. I'm not saying use it. I'm just saying this guy does really, 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 really nice work. Really, really nice work. Really nice work. And he says that he's been using DTM epoxy primer from Summit, their brand. He told me who makes it, and it's relabeled. I'm not going to say that because he didn't tell me not to say it, but he told me, because there ain't but a few people in the world that makes product, okay? A lot of this stuff is relabeled. So when somebody comes out and say, hey, look, I got this brand new paint, we're going to try it out. I'd rather not try it out if it's brand new, because it's not been tested and tuned out in the real world, right? It's not. It's just somebody else's product that they've relabeled and they're selling it for their own. It's called relabeling, remanufacture, resale. That's what it is, right? Use a clay bar. I'd use a clay bar or gas, but make sure you wax it real good. So he was telling me that the clear from Summit was like $100 a kit, and I'm like, what? And it's a gallon in the hardener. And then the primer, the DTM primer is like $68 a gallon, and it's like 45% solids or something like that. You'd have to look and see the spec sheets on it, and it mixes like 2 to 1. And he's like, dude, I've been using it like crazy, man. So you think about it, he said that I'm not going to say what he'd been buying, but he said the epoxy primer he'd been buying went from like $80 a gallon to like $350 a gallon. And he said he couldn't afford it no more. So he started buying from Summit, and he would buy it by the case. Well, a case comes 2 to a case. So he's getting like $125 a kit. So he's getting 2 gallons that mixes 2 to 1 with the catalyst versus $300 some for 1 gallon. So he's getting two gallons for the same price as 1. He said he's been using it now for about 3 years, and he's had no comebacks, no incidents, no nothing, no issues, none whatsoever. And he said he's using their high solid clear, which mixes 2 to 1, so that's like a European clear. And he has been using that, and he says he has no problem whatsoever with it. So look, I've been spraying PPG for 30 some years, and I sprayed BSF at Petty's. I sprayed. At Sand Hills, they use DuPont, and then they jumped over to PPG. I don't know what they're using now. I think they're water. The college, we was PPG and water. They full-blown went to water, which water is, now they still do solvent-based, but everybody's been going to water. Water is a whole lot nicer. It's got better vibrant colors, but it's hard to spray. You got to have a lot of airflow. So solvents is not dead right yet in North Carolina. And they might not be dead for the next 10 or 15 years, so I really wouldn't worry much about it. So I've sprayed all the big manufacturer stuff. But I'm not going to compromise quality over price. But PPG they're going up again 10% next month. Everybody's going up again like 10 or 12% next month. They just keep going up, keep going up, keep going up. And there's some stuff that I used to buy, some primers, some products I used to buy. I was getting it for like $100 a gallon. It's like $400 now, and they ain't nothing changed, just the price. You know what I mean? So, also I asked this guy about U-pole filler. I did a video on Ask Anybody using U-pole filler. 3M Platinum Plus Select Filler used to be like $40 a gallon. I've used a lot of it over my time. Body filler, Bondo's a brand, which is owned by 3M. And it's like $135 a gallon. U-pole right up the street at the paint store or at O'Reilly's is $32 a gallon. If you don't open it, this is what I was told. If you don't open it, it's got a 10-year shelf life. It's what I was told. I don't know. I hadn't researched it lately in the last couple of years, so it might have changed. But if it's not open, it's got like a 10-year shelf life. Once it's open, it's got like a 2-year shelf life. And you don't shake it. That's the crazy part. That's it. Now this has been opened. I use it sometimes in airbrushing. This right here is, I don't know if you can see that. Y'all see that? This is called Autumn Mystery. I use it for like toner. I use it for like edges. Let me turn this thing around and I'll show you. It's a pretty color, man. It's pretty. Let me show you. But they say you can drink it right out the bottle. But I ain't drinking it out the bottle. I ain't drinking it. But nevertheless, I've been on there 60 minutes. I hope this helps somebody out. Yeah, it's nice. They got all kinds of, man. They got silver to green, red to gold. I mean, they got a lot of different stuff. I want to give a shout out to somebody. I'm actually glad that me and Tulu didn't go live the other night on his podcast or his platform, because I was angry. Okay, I was angry. And then Cars in the Cut come out with a video last night, his premiere. If you don't follow Cars in the Cut, go to Cars in the Cut. I watched that video like 3 or 4 times. Then I got this mysterious, look, I'm going to tell it. Jay going to tell it. I got this mysterious email, right? I got this mysterious email. I'm not going to go into great details what the email was, because I know this person is watching me right now. And I have their email address, right? And they pretty much said, I can't say what they said because it's a part, I can't say it. But I will say this. Who owned Krusty Krab? And that was one of the words that they used. I'm kind of beating around the bush. And they actually give me an attaboy. And they said they really appreciate, the information that I give. They appreciate, the realness, me taking time out of my day to share stuff, stuff like that. And basically, in a nutshell, they said, don't get lost in the woods for the trees. Yeah, crabs. So apparently crabs means something different in different dialects and different sentences, other than we buying crabs at the seafood place and eating them. I'm just going to leave it at that. So, whoever sent me that email, I appreciate that email. That email, I needed that. Also, Cars in the Cut, that video he put out yesterday, I needed that too. That pulled me back down to ground level. I really appreciate that. But I am going to jump on Tulu's podcast this Friday at the same time. I hope he lets me know before he goes. I'm going to jump on. It's just going to be me and him. I'm going to say what I have to say, but I have it in a different tone, and a different dialect that I'm going to say. And then I'm done. And then I'm going to get off and I'm going to let you boys have y'all's little Friday night fun, which I really enjoy. So I really appreciate every single one of you. I think we're up to like almost 3,400 subscribers. No, I do not buy my subscribers. If you buy your subscribers, you're looking for trouble, because YouTube has a policy against that. YouTube has a policy against that. If you buy subscribers or bots and they do a filter purge, they will purge your account, and they will ban your channel. So make sure you read the bylaws of the agreements once you get on YouTube. You'll get hit with a lot of solicitation on people trying to sell you subscribers. We can get you this many subscribers in this amount of time. Don't do it. It's not worth it. You're right, TJ. It's not worth it. Let me just tell you this. I don't buy views. I don't buy nothing. But I have been watching it, and I've shared it with a few people, like Tulu and some other people. I've been posting videos, like 20-minute videos, and they'll be like 4,000 views. And I'm not buying subscribers. I'm not buying views. When I go live and do something like something tech, like actually working, 10, 12,000 views in an hour. See what I'm saying? I remember when Built on a Budget was like 800 subscribers. And I've only known Built for like a year and some change. And I don't even know why. I don't even know how I even found Built, honestly. Now, me and Built's had some disagreements, but we squashed it out like men, and it was just a difference of opinions. And I consider Built a very good friend and an asset, right? But I remember Built at like less than 1,000 subscribers. Then he went to 1,000. Then he jumped to 2,000. Then I told Built the other day that I said, Built, I don't know if you know this, but 11 months ago, you just got monetized. And he texted me back and he said, I did not know that. So within just a short amount of time, Built has went from like 900 subscribers to my man's almost at 5,000 subscribers. If y'all not watching, if y'all not paying attention, he's almost at 5,000 and he's put in the work. So this goes out for TJ. TJ just hit 300 subscribers. Congratulations. He just did his first live. Congratulations on that, TJ. Keep doing it. The more you do it, the more you'll get open. The more you do it, the more you'll get comfortable. Just be you, man. Just be you. I'm the same person I am right now if you walk through that door. I promise you. I'm the same person. But you got to put in the work. You got to put in the videos. You got to put in the content. That's why I post all the time. Shorts, reels, post, short, reels, post, short, lives, post, short. You got to keep doing it. You can't be half-assing it. You can't be hitting and missing. You got to stay to a schedule, and you got to do it. You got to do it. Not every video is going to go crazy. I got some videos that's got like 100 views, and I'm like, what the crap? And then you got a video that's got 10,000 views. It's hit and miss, hit and miss, hit and miss, hit and miss. You need to download YouTube Studio, and you need to pay attention to it, and you need to watch it, and you need to watch it, 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 you need to watch it. So this topic was about paint, staying motivated. Nothing comes easy. You got to work for it. You got to put in the work. You got to grind. 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 You got to grind some more. You got to grind some more. The days that you don't feel like grinding, grind, baby, grind. And if I came off to be a little bit arrogant or a little bit sore or bitter, I apologize. But I consider myself a very good asset. Also, I got another email from somebody, not the email that I got from the other one, but I got an email from somebody else that said this, says, I don't even know why you even bother. Do you and be done and don't even worry about the rest. I'm not worried about that. I'm not wired that way. Our human nature is to be servants, to help people. We have to have interaction with people, but we have to choose who we have interaction with. We also have to be careful of who we hang around with. We have to be mindful who we hang around with, but we also have to be mindful of people that we hang around with, who they hang around with. So you have to be mindful of that, right? So, hey, Mexican Lee, I'm going to text you in a minute. I got a wire wheel question I want to ask you. I want to run by you. So, do I know it all? Hell no, I don't know it all. Do I know a lot? Absolutely. Can I learn something today? Absolutely. Am I going to learn something today? Absolutely. Am I going to mess up something today? Absolutely. Am I going to learn from my mistake? Absolutely. Nobody's perfect. Nobody's perfect. Nobody's perfect. We all make mistakes. We all become unbecoming. We all have room to grow. We all have room to be better today than we were yesterday. I got a topic that when we go on live with Two Loose Thing, I got a topic that I'm going to talk about. I'm going to tell you how I feel, and then I'm going to tell you something else, and then I'm done. I'm telling you right now, if you want to have the wool snatched off your eyes and brought down to reality, and not for the weak heart and the thin skin, don't tune in to Two Loose Live for the first 30 minutes. You don't want to hear what Jay's got to say. Because when I say what I got to say, you're going to run home to every one of your loved ones, and you're going to grab a hold of them, and you're going to get right. You're going to get right with everybody. So don't tune in, because I'm going to give it to you real. And then I'm done. So, boys and girls, this is Frank's Red Hot. I put that shit on everything. It's in the big shop. I'm still waiting on Frank Red Hot. Yeah. Build on a budget. He's my man. I will fight with that man in the ditches. Hey. Woo! Bill's got a package. And I'm not talking about the one in his britches. He got a package. He had a big truck. He had a big truck delivery today, boys and girls. He had a big truck delivery. He got a big truck delivery. Yes, sir. Y'all better tune in to Bill today. If y'all ain't on Bill's page, y'all better go to him this afternoon. Hit that daggone that notification bell, because he got a big package. He got a big package. And I'm not talking about one in his britches neither. I'm talking about the one on that big truck out there in the front yard. Y'all just wait till y'all see what showed up for JT today. Y'all just wait. Woo! Bilt's adding that pressure, baby. Bilt's applying pressure. He's applying pressure. He's applying pressure. Yes, sir. Now, me and Bilt had a good conversation the other day, and I'm going to leave y'all with this. It's not fair for me to call nobody out. It's not fair. It's not fair for me to call nobody out. And if anybody wants to call me out, that's okay. Call me out. Just remember, everybody that calls Eminem out regrets it after they call him out. That's all I'm going to say. 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 You take it for what it's worth. I'm going to take it for what Lil Wayne said. Don't call out Eminem. He'll rip your soul out. So, boys and girls, I appreciate every single one of you. I really do. I really do. Oh, one more tip. If you got a little refrigerator, put your stuff in there. Put your catalyst and stuff. Once you open it, put it in the refrigerator. It'll keep it a little bit longer. Remember what I said, boys and girls, I got to go in here and paint these valve covers. Is that 84? 84. You for real? You for real? Is that an official? Is that official? I'll give you a minute. Is that official? Are you calling out Sparrow? Is Sparrow calling me out? Is Sparrow calling me out? Is Sparrow? Say it in my good ear. Say it where I can hear it. I believe Unc done hijacked 84's page, and I believe that's Unc talking. I don't think that's 84. I think Unc is done hijacked 84's page. Unc, you better lay up. Is that Unc? Unc, you better stop playing. You're gonna get Cuddy in trouble. You're gonna get Cuddy in trouble. We got to figure out if this is 84 talking or this is Cuddy talking. Or we got to figure out if this is 84 or this is Unc. He said, no, it's definitely me. All right. All right, baby. Game on. Game on, baby. Game on. You know, I was just looking at some twin turbo kits last night. You do know that, right? You do. You do know. You do know I was looking at some daggone twin turbo kits last night, right? Oh, hell no. Hell no. Hell to the no, 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 no. Hell. Well, it's on like Donkey Kong. It's on like Donkey Kong. It's on. It's on, boys. It's on. It's on. It's on. It's on. It's on. It's on, boys and girls. Woo! Y'all boys. Oh. Let me call Brian Tooley when I get off the phone. Let me call Brian Tooley. Let me call Brian Tooley. Let me call it. Let go. Hey, look, speaking of let go, let me show you this right here and I'm going to let you go. Look what I got going on. I'm about to paint these sun guns right here. It is 8 degrees in here. About to put some colors on. We must not know. Yeah, we know sparrows fly. We see you be doing them little one-wheel peels out there in the neighborhood. Mm-hmm. We see them we see them little one-wheel peels out there. Them little onion peels out there. That little tire screamer. Sound like a BMX bicycle when you're sliding in the home base. We see it. It take off. Tire so hard it's skipping. Yeah, peg leg, one wheel peel. Yeah, yeah. We all had that BMX bicycle that had them hard ass tires. You hit the brakes and it don't slide. It goes all the way in the home base. Yeah. Okay. Shots fired. I got you. You better go to daggone McDonald's and get you one of them damn Mighty Meals, because you're going to have to get you some groceries in those bellies, because Jay is coming for you. I'm coming for you. I told you didn't want to call me out. Oh, no. You know I do have an appointment on May 15th at TKM at the dyno. You do know I'll ask them if they got any engines in there that somebody ain't come paid their bill. You do know that, right? You do know that. And I will leave that son of a gun sitting right there on the floor. You do know that, right? You do know that I'll go broke. You do know that I'll go broke. I will go, look, I'm taking the chassis off the frame. I'm going to paint the chassis. I'm painting everything. It's on like Donkey Kong. And you know what? I'm going to send you something, 84, to help you clean up that engine bay of yours so it don't. Yep, I got you. Yep, I got you. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. You done got me fired up, boy. I tell you what, you got me hotter than a crack pipe on payday, boy. Woo! Oh my goodness. Look, look. I told you I buy Flake. I buy it by the pound. You see that gold flake? I'll flake the whole car. You see? Oh, see, when I dig in this cabinet right here, this is when we break hearts and make feelings right here. Look here. I got some cosmetic. I got some Cosmos, gold pewter pearls. I got some root beer candy. Oh my goodness. I got some daggone summertime green. Woo, I'm thinking gold flaking. I'm talking metal flaking. I'm talking about some gold leafing, some silver leafing, some shade. I'm talking, oh, see, it's on now. It's on now. It's on like Donkey Kong. I tell you what, it's going to be hotter than a crack pipe on payday, boys. Woo! Boys and girls, you know what really burns my ass besides a fire about that high? Cuddy, 84 Cuddy, Sparrow, I'm coming for you. You know you don't live that far from me, right? You know you only live right through the woods. You know I can be over there in your little cul-de-sac and just a hop, skip, and a jump. You remember how playing hopscotch? We played hopscotch. I can come on over there. Yep, it's on. Let me go out here. Let me go out here and tell it. Let me go out here and tell it. I'm going to go out here and tell it. Let me go out here. I'm going to go right here and tell it. Let me go out here and tell it. OG6, you have been officially called out by Sparrow. What did you say? What did you say? I said you have been officially called out by Sparrow. No, we taking no prisoners. No prisoners. None whatsoever. Boys and girls, I promise you, it's all for fun. It's all for fun. I ain't got no hate in my heart whatsoever, but I tell you what, you better get that damn checkbook ready, because Jay fitting to spend some hundos. Woo! Let me go. Boy, let's go then. Oh. Breaker, 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 breaker. We have been officially called out. Breaker, breaker. We have been officially called out by 84 Cuddy and Sparrow and Unk. Roger, come back. Pattern is full, Ghost Rider. Pattern is full. Pattern is full. You do not have permission to pass the tower. You do not have permission to pass the tower. Give me the damn address. Where are you? Hey, where are you at? I got truck drivers all over the United States. Where are you at? Charlie Mike over. Bravo. Whiskey Tango. Come back now. Negative. Abort. I said abort. Abort. The pattern is full. Abort, damn it. Abort. Woo. Let me see if I can get a driver out there. Boys and girls, I got to get busy. I got to get on the phone and start ordering parts. Boys and girls, I appreciate every single one of you. Remember I said, boys and girls, don't worry about the man up the road. Don't worry about the man down the road. And don't worry about Sparrow because he's fixing to get his wings cut. Remember I said, boys and girls, don't worry about the man up the road or down the road. Sweep off your own front porch while sweeping off anybody else's. And it's on like Donkey Kong, boys. You better go back to the future. You better go back to the future like Biff because it's on like Donkey Kong. I appreciate you, boys and girls. Let go.